People, deluded, I'm back again. With this corona thing, football fans of all levels, I think National League is still going on, but everywhere else, to my knowledge, we've been robbed of football this weekend. A weekend with no football is always horrid. Football and major sporting events cancelled for the foreseeable future, with this corona thing affecting not just England, but everywhere around the world now. Hopefully everyone gets through it. It's tough times. Now, as an Arsenal fan, there's really nothing to talk about, really and truly. So we might as well... Should we speak about this season? I don't really know the point of this vid, but should we kind of speak about the season so far and whatnot? Let's just air the Emirates stuff. But it's been a bit of an up and down season. That's me being nice. We've got a bit of optimism now. Not for me anyways. I don't believe we can get Champions League spaces. If you do, I hope you're right. I want humble pie. I want egg on my face. I want Champions League football, people. But I don't think we're going to get... We've just got simply too much to do in it. So there's not really positives from that. But I'd say optimism in a sense of, for me, you know what Arteta wants to do. And I think that was void of Emery. I didn't know game by game what Emery wants to do. There wasn't a method to his madness. There's a method to what Arteta wants to do. He's improved us defensively. I'm not robbing him of what he's done or the players of any credit, but I say improve subjectively because we were... You know, we were barely touching a Championship League One side the way we were defensively. But individual players, shout out to Mustafi, for instance, between him and Arteta, round of applause for that. Players are playing out of their skin. There's a structure to our defence with our back five, with Leno, and the whole team's outlook on defending, or the need to defend, is a bit better. Now, I'd say of recent games, we're kind of losing that. We're kind of losing the standards we set under Arteta, but... You know, we've improved significantly. So that's the main thing, just being able to see what a man wants to do. And it'll be interesting next season because a good tradesman uses what tools he has available. And I just mentioned the name Mustafi, people. You know, Mustafi, you know, nobody would, let's be honest, nobody would play him prior to Arteta coming in. No one would have played him. He might have not even played for the 23s. But he's one of the first names on the team sheet with Luiz when fit now. And we've got good problems there. Again, we don't know if Mustafi has it in him to do this next season. We don't know if we're going to move him on. Playing devil's advocate, contracted until 2021 in some decent form. We've allegedly tried to move him on for a number of windows. Playing devil's advocate, could someone take a chance on someone like that? Do you get what I'm saying? Socrates has been decent, potentially hard done by to lose his place in centre defence. We're going to have to review his future. Marie's come in. Again, we haven't officially made it permanent, but you're hearing rumours we're looking to do that, people. So he's coming in. I still think we need another centre-half in addition to Saliba. Bless me. Apologies, people. I've not got no corona. Apologies for that joke. But I'm cool. Like I said, there's decisions to make in defence, but just from seeing what a man wants to, just seeing a man, because coaching's a big part of this role. Arteta's been given a squad and a man's made it work. Like, we've seen some players improve. We're seeing a structure. So for me, that tells me it's not as white and black as this. But if you get a decent centre-half, some couple midfielders in, I would love, maybe if everything was patterned, another wide man that can score goals and a super player. What could he do? Again, because this squad really and truly, for honest, it's not good enough. Like, I'm not trying to be harsh. I'm being real. There's a handful of players you can move forward with, people, and I don't really want to name them, but you lot are going to say DGY. If I was Arteta, which I'm not, don't know more than him, players that I truthfully move forward with, like honest, hands-on heart. It's really like Aubameyang will sort out that contract, but I don't need to tell you what Aubameyang's done for this club and in this league. So Aubameyang, you know, Leno's calming goal, Saka and Martinelli without a doubt. Xhaka on the basis of Arteta wants to use him and he's been in good form. Luiz has been in decent form. But at a push, it's really just the first names I said prior to, I think, Luiz and Xhaka. I think Xhaka's been decent. I will use Torreira as well. There's not too much. Like I said, there's still a lot of uncertainty over our squad when you think about it. You look at the players contracted until 21 and 2022. Eddie Nketiah, who is now starting in the Prem, 2022. Same time as Lacazette. We need to give him a new deal and protect our value if we ever wanted to sell him if he couldn't make the grade. And obviously, we back him all the way to progress and be a certain sort of Arsenal first team player and contribute. So we need to protect ourselves. The same goes for Saka, who's contract, and Aubameyang's thing throws up another one. If your name's really not Martinelli, Saka for me, Listen, Aubameyang's contract makes him eligible to be sold, but Aubameyang, to a degree, I would listen to offers on Torreira, but I wouldn't want to sell him. And I'd say Leno, there's not really any players I'd bat an eyelid if offers came in. Like, I like Maitland-Niles, but the way it's moving, you know, you signed a new deal, we should be able to get it. You might become a decent player. We might look at this sell as silly, but, you know, you might be someone to leave on loan or permanently if you don't back up your ideas. If you could get a 20 million or something for him, it's decent. I'm a big fan of Holding. Again, the injury, I don't know what we're doing with him, but I see a lot of uncertainty over the centre-half position, and he's someone that might give way, again, loan or permanent. If you could get a 20 and cut your losses, considering you bought him for 2 million from Bolton, considering Maitland-Niles came for free from the academy, I want them to stay personally, but being cynical, if you take them that piece and you add it to other things, you know, and you use it to fix up the core specifically of this team, what could you say? Mavropanos is on loan, and a bit of me wants to give him time and, you know, see what player he can become. But these sort of players, if decent fees come in for them, I'm all on it. Like, I'm a big fan of Willock. Like, I want Willock to stay, but someone said 20 million for Willock right now, I might have to think. I'd say Martinelli and Saka right now, the only youngsters I'm not prepared to sell. And I'm a big fan of Reece Nelson the same. But if someone came in with an offer, you'd have a decision to make. Nelson stays for me, but it's really just Saka and Martinelli. There's a lot of uncertainty about our team. We need to go and bring a centre-half. If we can bring in someone that's 26, ain't got no names to hand, that mid-20s to early 20s would be perfect. As good as Luiz is playing, he's on the wrong side of 30. Mustafi, he's of the right age of 20 in theory and looking like the centre-half we've wanted him to be since he signed for this club. But I'd ask most Arsenal fans and you lot watching this, in your honest to God, would you give Mustafi a new deal? No ifs and buts if he continues his form and things like that. In the same way, if I put these players in front of you, if I put Saka, Aubameyang and Mustafi, yeah, and you know what, let's say Mustafi, Aubameyang, Saka, Socrates, Luiz, yeah, they all contract same length, people. And I said, no ifs and buts, maintaining form and what Arteta wants to do with him and all this walala, people, yeah. They're just yes and no. All these names I've said, yeah, you need to give them a contract today. Sign a deal today. Which names are you saying? You're honest with your heart. I know you lot. You're saying Saka and you're saying Aubameyang. You're looking right and left and going for all the other names. Honest to God, take nothing away from the three respective defenders who have been in good form. But let's call spades a spade. That's why you lot watch my channel, because we're not filtering stuff. We're not being overzealous. We're calling spades a spade. Again, I'm not naive. I'm not screaming all three need to go in one window, but you'd imagine 2 of the 3 won't be here in the summer. I don't know that as a fact, because for me, there's a lot of centre-halves. And I want Saliba to play. I think we're going to keep Luiz, and if he continues that, see, I just said if, under Arteta, no questions asked. We can use you until your contract expires. Mustafi, I guess, could stay for the squad, but I'm trying to get Peas in the side. Him and or Socrates potentially have to be moved on. I want to give Callum Chambers a chance, but I don't know for his injury. Holding, it's 50-50, it's all in the air. Maitland-Niles, I want you to be I think you could be a decent player right in the middle of the park or right back. You lot know me, check all them vids. I think I have a vid saying just play Maitland-Niles. I've been banging on about Maitland-Niles, but he needs to back up his ideas. Simple as. You don't want the game will pass you. When I see what Saka's doing, younger than you, he wants to decide his future one day, so he's seizing the moment. You want me to play left back? I'm gonna bad it up at left back. Maitland-Niles is too much oohing and ahhing, and under Arteta he started well at right back, but as a fan, whether it's true or not, we'll give you an apology, but we're seeing the manager come out and say you're not really applying yourself in training, for want of better words, and you're hearing stuff come out with Ornstein and the Athletic that, you know, you've been late to training, you're not applying yourselves. You've got the talent, you've got the ability to be a Premier League footballer of some standard, but talent is only subjective. You need to seize it, you need to realise it, most importantly you need to apply it. So it's up for air, really and truly. We spent 70 odd add-ons and that for Pepe, so we need to persist with Pepe and stuff. And I think there's a player in Pepe. Obviously next season we're going to judge him to harsher standards, whenever next season is. We're going to judge him to harsher standards, but I believe in him, Nelson, Martinelli and Saka, and wherever these guys can play there all the time, I think these guys can be there, which is why I said if we can, again, no names, but if we can find a wide man that can, you know, not Richarlison, I would take Richarlison, but you see how Richarlison can play up front and on the flanks. If you could find a man that could do that, it's a balance. But for me, if you could find a wide man that's 10 goals, 10 assists, a serious player, when we brought in a centre middle too, a centre half for me and addressed other areas, it's up for air. Bellerin's been playing with an injury, and I'm a big fan of Bellerin, but I'm not gonna lie, even that, like, looking back, we was offered 50 million once upon a time for Bellerin, so them ones there, there's still a lot of uncertainty in our team, and truthfully, regardless of form, there's not many players in that squad you can look at, I believe, honestly, nothing in saying, hand on my heart, like, you know, I'm thinking of you next season. There's only a handful of players that really, if we want to be a Champions League consistent club and try aspire to winning leagues and doing what Liverpool's doing and City and stuff, money permitted or not, there's not a couple of these players that are capable for it. We can use them for the rebuild. Like I said, for the squad, you know, we might concede that running down Mustafi and Socrates and Luiz's deals is the right thing. We might marginalise one of them. They've all got decisions to make because obviously the age Mustafi's at, he's got to go and seek a good deal and some stability, you know, for his family, and he's of peak ages. He needs to settle down his roots. For Socrates, it's a bit different. There's the financial aspect and there's also the chance of a new challenge. Previously, did he not say be open to MLS? Again, with Corona and all these things, we don't even know when the season's starting, but there's that. Again, David Luiz, does he want to run down his deal at Arsenal and see what we can do next year before returning, you know? He might say, I want to go and play for Benfica for a year again, or I want to return to my native Brazil, or I want to try another experience and whatnot in another country. Or he might go, you never know. We say these players are old, but Socrates, Luiz and that, if they went Italy, you know, 30 is the new 21 out there. So they'd have a number of years. You look at Ashley Young, calmly went out there. So no, Smalling's a bit, in fact, admittedly, I don't know how old Smalling is, but he's playing a bit better in Rome. So there could be that. As you lot know, it's been an up and down season, man. We've put some decent form here and there together. There's been positives, but generally there's a lot to work on. The one positive for me is that we're a tiny bit better defensively. So I don't know Arteta, but I know for a fact defending and improving defending and how we defend and being more convincing in all aspects from back to front is a priority. I genuinely believe with Arteta, it's a case now of what we couldn't say on the Emre of, yeah, give him a better centre-half. Obviously, give Emre, you know, if you gave him better players, he might have done well. But I'm seeing enough from Arteta to say, okay, cool, if we buy you more expensive goods, you're going to do a mad thing, innit? Do you see what I'm saying, people? Like, I'm buying Sainsbury's basic goods and you're making a decent meal out of it. All right, cool, I'm going to go buy the more expensive recipes for you, like, and all them brands and whatnot. Thinking Sainsbury's, when I used to work there once upon a time, can't remember the honey. There's honey that costs £30. I remember I almost dropped off the ladder that I was stacking the thing on people, and I was like, is the zero wrong? It must be £3. It could never be £30 British pounds for some honey. I've had it, years later I had it and I can see why it's £30, but I was shocked, people. So yeah, man, it's like this season, it's looking like a write-off. It's neither here nor there. We don't know what's going to happen with the league. You're seeing Karen Brady come out and say it should be void and saying, you know, Liverpool have clearly been the best team and deserve to win the league. But she spoke about integrity of the teams and whatnot. Obviously, someone's going to have something to say according to every position you finish. Like, I genuinely believe the only teams that might say, all right, cool, calm, just for the league domestically, if it was to just shut and everyone finished in them positions. Admittedly, I can't remember who's fourth, but I'd probably say Leicester. Whoever's fourth, obviously, I think that's Chelsea. They're not going to cry. I could be wrong. But I'd say City, Leicester, Liverpool, the only ones that want to stay there. And obviously, any team that's fighting relegation, that's not in them positions. There's talk of expanding the Prem. There's talk of delaying it. You know, there's all talks of other things. And most importantly, these things are not facts. So it's neither here nor there. When things develop, we'll be here to speak about it. But whenever we play again, you know I'll be there to review it. You lot know I've got you during this break when I can. It's a slow... There's no news, there's nothing going on, so I can't force it, people. Really and truly. If you lot want to give me some topics to work with, then we can work with something. But for now, it's always a pleasure speaking with you guys. But I'm going to get out of here. Enjoy the rest of your day, evening, night, wherever you are, whatever time zone you're in. Most importantly, I hope you're all safe at this time with what's going on in society, and I hope your loved ones are safe and you continue to have good health and all of these things. And more importantly than that, make sure you like, comment and subscribe this vid, and you come and return for the next vids. And if you haven't already, go and check out the vids already released. Especially with the break, you'll have time to take in all these vids. There's nothing else, people. Everyone's saying DG spamming. You're not complaining now, so go and check them ones there out. On that note, God bless. I'm out.